Ellen DeGeneres is quitting. Did you know Paul McCartney is doing yoga? And there's a huge gas shortage all over the southern United States. All this and more on The Morning Laugh.
Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to The Morning Laugh. We're so excited for today's show. First of all, I need to apologize. Chris Wineland had a quick emergency. He had to run to the bathroom. But in the meantime, we have Josh Novey.
Hi.
Hey, Josh. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I tell you what. So this is a fun. Things are happening this morning. I tell you what.
Are they? I hope they're not happening like Chris. He had a breakfast burrito and is going to be.
He's been in the bathroom.
Also, let's real quick bring in Brian Kohatsu. Brian.
Hey guys, sorry, I just had to put my phone down. I thought Josh was having a stroke when he came on. I thought it was a cry for help. So
I'm just very excited. I made a cappuccino this morning, so that's what I'm drinking. Double espresso cappuccino. I'm just really excited about the world right now.
It's your fancy pants there. All right.
So we kind of take turns introing the show, and I started off with "Hey guys," which is a pet peeve. Every time I watch a YouTube video, they all start with "Hey guys."
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
And all the shows in like this. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Hand over the lens.
All hand transitions over the lens. Exactly.
So have you guys been this last week?
You know what? It has been it's been a pretty good week. I can't complain about it. Some things have happened. I got in my DNA results. Maybe we'll do that on a later show. But I got my DNA results in, and I got some interesting results. And so
you did not do. You were 99% Slavic, did you?
I honestly, not too far off.
Well, school's about to get out for you guys and your chillins. My grandkids have been in homeschool this year. So they never get out of school.
You want to know what happened with us? Is our my 15-year-old? He told us emphatically that school was out this Friday, that it was done, and that he was like it's out this Friday. Thursday's a short day or whatever. So we go to find out that the last day is actually on the 27th, which is like 2 weeks. And
I knew there was a 7 in it.
Yeah. So I don't know if has that ever happened to you? Have your kids ever tried to be like, yeah, no, school's out like tomorrow? And you're like, it's September. You're not.
Now this is a strange thing. So my son's graduating next Tuesday, and basically there's been I guess there's been an uptick in COVID cases or something. I don't know where they're talking exactly, but they told the senior class, it's best if you guys just stay home. And so you don't get that way, if you get infected, you can't go to graduation in 2 weeks, if you got a quarantine. So they've told the seniors they could stay home if they want, which is ridiculous because my daughter, she wasn't told to stay home,
right?
But she might infect her brother. So it's you just let everybody go home just so the kids can graduate. I mean,
it's almost as if some of these rules don't make sense. Airports. Huh.
Anyway,
needless to say, yesterday was the final. 2 days ago was the final day, and then my son had to go and turn in the rest of whatever paperwork, books, pay whatever fines, and done. So he's done. He's washed his hands of it.
All right, congratulations to him. And he's going off to college, or is he?
He'll stay in town for college. Yeah. Apparently, college is going to be free. I don't know how that works, but anyway.
I don't know. He's been in college for a year and a half, and I haven't got a bill yet. So
yeah. By the way, I will say this: my kids got their yearbooks the other day, and these are full color, twice as thick as I used to have.
Wow.
They're just it's like the world's nicest catalog you've ever seen in your life.
A catalog of children.
Yeah, pretty much.
Martha, the catalog's here.
Not only that, it's like, will you sign my yearbook? I'm like, hey, guys, don't be writing in those. Those are expensive.
Yeah.
Mine was black and white, and it was
Is your son? Is he gonna get? Is he getting the class ring? Is that his big thing?
No, he's not really a ring person. So, if anybody ever saw the movie The Ring, no one should be a ring person. Nah, it wasn't. It's not
I saw
interesting.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, right? Then you just got to dump it into a volcano.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
It's
nice work, Jostins. It's not,
having a ring is quite a burden.
It's actually a pyramid scheme. You have to climb a pyramid and throw it into the Mordor. It's
right.
It's tough. It's a tough thing.
And they just recycle it as another ring to another kid, and they resell it. I smell scam.
Indeed. So the yearbook was that your most major purchase this week, Brian?
That was not my major purchase, Mike.
Oh.
If you guys are ready for it, I'll spoil it right now.
I'm ready for it.
I bought, and I had extensive talk with the manager when I went to go purchase this. I bought a paper shredder, and
wow.
Yeah. So here's the deal.
Are you worried about security in your documents at home?
It's just old tax forms.
Oh.
And it wasn't enough to take in and go, here, it's bulk enough. So I thought, you know what, every once in a while I do want to shred something. So I bought a little tiny one, right? And I had a coupon.
Please tell me your tie got caught in it at one point.
And comedy ensued. My head was going closer and the teeth were like coming at me. So the manager says, I said, hey, I got this coupon that for some reason never works here on anything I happen to buy. And he goes, let me take a look at it. He looks at it. He goes, man, paper shredder? Yeah, it's considered electronics. I'm like, really? A basket and some scissors? That's electronics? And he goes, yeah, pretty much. Anything in the middle of the store. I said, so on the outside, say, I don't know, buckets and scissors, I could get 20% off on that. He goes, yeah. I'm like, but if the scissors move, then I can't.
So pretty much like conversation.
He had no sense of humor.
Highlighters and sticky notes.
So, anyways, I was shredding yesterday, and do I look shredded? I look shredded now, don't I?
Yeah, you look like you've been shredding.
My wife got very excited, but then she realized it was a paper shredder. So, whatever. Anyways,
yeah,
and I don't want to brag, but I bought a paper shredder.
Then Shredder from Ninja Turtles came in, and then it was like a whole thing. And he's like, "Just someone say Shredder," and then he like started and then you had to do kung fu and stuff. It was a weird.
But even he charges 49 cents a pound. I mean, come on.
That's got to be expensive because he has all that metal on him. You know, like that is expensive.
When my kids were little, my boys they loved Ninja Turtles when they were in their first came to prominence long ago in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I remember they had a sticker book where you could put little stickers of different Ninja Turtle things all over, but one of them was Shredder, and I peeled that off for my son and I held it up to my wife and said, look, a paper shredder. And she didn't get it because she didn't know who that character was.
That joke just keeps on giving.
Anyway.
Oh man. Mike, how you doing this morning? You doing okay?
I am doing okay. I feel pretty good about everything. I was going to tell you guys last week. Did you ever see? There's a movie out by Disney called The One and Only Ivan. Have you seen this?
Yeah, no. The gorilla.
It's about the gorilla. Yeah. Well, the Ivan the gorilla was a real gorilla, and it really did do finger painting, or I shouldn't say it. He finger painted. But when I was a kid, there was a store in our neighborhood, in our town in Tacoma, Washington, called the B&I Circus Marketplace. And you went there, and it was like a big department store, but it was very circus themed. And if you're thinking that sounds cool, it was not. It was very run down and very, very. I don't know how to describe it. It's just very trashy, the whole place. But in their pet department, a guy owned a gorilla. He actually raised the gorilla at home for the most part, and then finally moved it into the store because he didn't have room at home for it. So it was an attraction at the store. This poor gorilla was just so. I felt so bad for it. It was just in a big concrete box. Even back then, we didn't care about animals back then. But I felt bad for this poor gorilla. So anyway, this story by Disney is a lot of artistic license has been taken with telling.
Why, Mike?
The story.
You know why? Mainly because I heard that the Gorillas family would not sign off on the original script.
Mm-hmm. They had to.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't make them just enough. And then like in the movie, like he does sign language, and he's like, "I don't mind captivity," and you're like, I don't think that happened.
Home,
which is weird that he did that because he could also speak English in the movie.
Ugly gorilla.
So the reality between the movie and the truth is, or the difference was, one, he didn't actually speak English. Two, he was not a big circus act. He was simply a poor encaged animal in a box. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I hadn't been back to the BNI till this a couple weeks ago when we were up there, and it is not.
Did the gorilla have a name?
Yeah, it was Ivan.
Ivan, that's right.
Ivan, yeah.
And then in the movie, it just was it true that it had a dog? There was like a dog that didn't happen. Oh man,
there was a dog ever. Do you remember the elephant in the movie?
I mean, I remember the elephant in the room, which is Chris is not here, but that's something else.
That elephant, his name is Cindy in the movie, and Cindy the elephant was another big animal. Obviously, it was a big animal, but it was a big story in that area because Cindy the elephant was at the Point Defiant Zoo in Tacoma, and she had been brought in and then left and brought back, but she was under duress also because they mistreated her.
So maybe I'm naive, but the Washington State area big for gorillas.
Yeah. They caught it in the wild in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this guy that I can't remember his name, but he bought Ivan and his sister from the Congo. I don't know why he did this, but he bought them and had them at home as pets. And then his sister died, I guess, very young, like right away. And then Ivan grew too big, and he brought it to the store to live. Yep, that's the truth. Anyway, I don't know why I told you all that.
Anyway, yeah. Well, I guess we know where to get gorillas from now on. So
yeah, yep.
Well, no, they don't sell gorillas there. I feel like
you don't sell gorillas. Wait, hold on. You told me that there was an elephant in the room, and now you're telling me that there's no gorillas. I am so upset.
No.
Well, that's just how it is. So, I was just looking through our topics for this week. ABBA promises new music this year. That is such a relief because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure ABBA hasn't had anything new for a long time. Am I wrong in that? All I remember is ABBA had, a couple of hits. I shouldn't say a couple. They had quite a few hits back in the day, but then that was it.
Well, they just packed it up and went their separate ways, and then Mamma Mia comes along, explodes.
Yeah.
And then explodes so much so that they make Mamma Mia 2, and no one needed that.
Well, because they're like, what we need? We need a sequel, but what we need is the same songs.
I think what happened is when people heard Pierce Brosnan sing, they thought, is there a way we can get the original people back together? Why are we being put through this?
Mamma Mia. That's what everyone said. Mamma Mia. Pierce.
My family loves that movie, Mamma Mia, but when Pierce comes on and sings, I like to sing along with it. Donna, please tell me. And they yell at me. And I'm like, that's no different than what he just did. They're like, yeah, but he's endearing. He's James Bond. We'll give him a pass. Now, ABBA has said that they are going to, they will definitely positively confirmed release something later this year.
Wow.
Maybe an album. It may be just a few different songs dropped, but they all are definitely in agreement to get back together. I guess they did some corporate show 2 years ago, some big event thing. And it kind of spawned them to go, let's do something. So,
when we all decide we have nothing to do with each other, I think a corporate show is what's going to bring us back together.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, realistically, I would say yes, that the big Morning Laugh reunion show is going to be at a McDonald's. It's
probably.
Man.
Sounds about right.
Depends on the budget, but yeah, I think you're right.
By the way, does anybody know how to pronounce the members of ABBA?
There's a Boinky Jonk,
Uh-huh.
Agnetha Folkskong,
Baby
Frida.
Bjorn,
Frida, and then
Bjorn Uvula or whatever.
This is a family show, Mike. We can't be saying those words.
It's pronounced uvula.
I guess they got in their race car with their taco cat and left. See, because those are palindromes also, like ABBA.
Yeah. What do you like? What is ABBA gonna sing about? Like they're Dancing Queen,
Waterloo. They've covered everything.
Old and ripe.
They're just gonna do Simon and Garfunkel covers now.
They're not gonna sing about Fernando's son, Grandma Mia. Here she comes again up the stairs in her little wheelchair seat thing that goes up. Grandma Mia.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So speaking of Fab Fours like ABBA, yes, Sir Paul McCartney, and you teased it, Josh.
I did. Sorry.
You did. You teased it that he's been doing eye yoga and claims now I can read the newspaper without my glasses. Left-handed even.
He's doing some sort of eye exercises, yoga.
He learned it, and he learned it. It's an old like India, like some yoga guru, taught him because you remember how the Beatles went to India, and that's when the world got colors in our clothing. Before we used to wear just gray and black and white, and the Beatles went to. This is a little bit of history. I don't know if you guys know this, but anyways, yeah. So basically, he said like I look up 1, 2, 3. Then I look middle, and then I look down, and your eyes get stronger. Who am I to doubt Sir Paul McCartney?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Do you guys do any eye yoga or any yoga to help you see better, guys?
Yeah, I do a lot of eye rolling. Like that's like my like oh.
I was once asked to do eye yoga, and I said, "Nah, let's stay out of it."
Now I'm gonna stay out of it. Yeah. My wife's an avid eye roller, Josh. So she, she has really good vision though.
Yeah.
That's because of me. She eye rolls at me all the time, and you're welcome. Is what I say to my wife. So
it's like like my fiance, she has great vision, but the glare that comes off of it's
yeah. You have to wear shades. Like, wow, where did that come from?
Oh man, I don't know. What if someone came up to you and was like, "Hey, listen, Brian, I need you to do some eye yoga."
As long as I don't have to wear special pants, I'm in.
No, that's my thing. Is that like I'll do eye yoga. The problem is that I will still fart.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I know that's a byproduct of yoga. Often is the gaseous exhaust, but with eye yoga that wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't think.
It's what's that term? Cathartic. I'm sorry. It really helps. I don't know. You could wear those Lulu Looks pants made just for eye yoga. But people wear them to the store.
When your wife rolls her eyes at you, you just go, "Was that a downward dog? Did you just downward dog me?"
Man.
That, by the way, is the only yoga move I know. I don't even know what it is. I just know the term.
I know baby, sleeping baby, crying baby, something baby. I don't know. It's the one that it sounds
like you don't know.
I don't know what it's called.
Child's pose.
Because it's good for your back. I do it when I wake up in the morning. Before I get out of bed, I do the baby pose, child's pose, or whatever. And
is that just curling up and sucking your thumb?
Yeah. It's actually a lot of crying in the fetal position. It's magical.
Yeah, usually child's like the workout that I do, child pose is the last thing because you typically are crying like a baby on the floor. Like, why did I work out? That was dumb. Yeah. All right. Well, we handled the McCartney thing, I think, fairly well.
Speaking of farting, there's a gas shortage in the southeast.
Oh no! Carter 2, the sequel. That's great. That's fantastic.
You're right. It's like, okay, we have hyperinflation. We have a gas shortage.
Yeah.
Israel's being attacked. Yeah,
it's 1979 again, guys.
Yeah. The Ayatollah is coming in, and there's some issues going on. Now, have you seen this thing where people are are morons, and so they're hoarding gas, but they don't have gas canisters, so they're just using garbage bags, buckets of Tupperware, I guess. I don't know. What would, if you had to hoard gas and you had nothing else, what would you hoard gas with?
If I had nothing else other than what, a gas tank?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the obvious choice for everyone is Hydro Flask. You want to keep it at the right temperature and safely secure.
I would store it in the extra storage area of the pockets in my cheeks.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a Washington thing.
I was thinking like, what if you said like a bunch of Capri Suns?
I just found, this is a breaking news story, you guys. I just found out 3 Mile Island is having a problem. Oh wait, it's not 1939.
So hear me out on this. This is the best container for gas. Yeah, yell for Kool-Aid. You yell for Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah,
I'm coming through my door. Anyways, he smashes. You attack him. You empty him out, and then you go fill him up with gas. And then you make him walk. Like, come to my house, and then he has to walk full of gasoline.
Every time you mention Kool-Aid, he has to break through the wall.
Mike, he'll hear you.
Sorry.
Who pays the insurance on that?
Yeah.
Is it homeowners? Because you called for him?
Is it homeowners insurance, or is that a special beverage insurance that people have to get?
I think it's a rider. It's a separate rider. I have a Kool-Aid rider.
He says that it's covered by God acts of God, because
I think it's interesting that it was so prophetic back then with that commercial that you couldn't just say Kool-Aid, you had to preface it with hey. It's just like Google or Siri.
Yeah. But nobody ever did that, like, hey, Kool-Aid, and then crash. Where is there a restaurant near here that serves Thai food?
The nearest restaurant is.
I'll be right back. I'll check.
And then it just crashes into different restaurants. Hey, do you serve Thai food?
Thai food? No.
Okay.
And that's how the drive-through was invented. People then could just drive into the restaurants. A little bit of history. So.
Well, that was off the wall. Boom! Now there's 1979 reference. Okay.
That was silly, y'all.
Speaking of 1979, did you guys watch Happy Days?
Always.
That was the big Tuesday night thing. Well, Henry Winkler, the Fonz, apparently posted a picture of him with a fish after he was doing a catch and release. He's a big fly fisher, I guess. And he caught a lot of fishy stink from the internet.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Which is a bit ridiculous.
They decided that he is being mean to the fish and has culturally appropriated them by wearing scales. No, I don't know. I don't know what the terms are. But did you guys read that story?
Yeah, but the thing is, he's a catch and release fisherman.
Yeah.
Which means he catches them, then releases them. That's apparently not clear to some people.
I will be honest with you. I've always thought if you're going to hunt or fish, it needs to be for eating. And catch and release to me is pretty cruel. Because I don't know if you have ever caught a fish, but that's going to give you a canker sore, that hook in your lip.
Were you ever in a bar in college?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, it's all catch and release, and we're the victims.
Yeah, that's right.
My favorite comment on here is this top commenter Deborah says, "Imagine if that fish held you underwater to get a selfie. Please don't encourage this. I'll tell you right now, if a fish held me underwater for a selfie, I would absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I volunteer for that right now.
Yeah.
Like the incredible Mr. Limpid. Hey, can I get a picture with you? First of all, it is Henry Winkler. The Fonz is fishing. So I'm sure he just like goes to a rock and goes, dunk, and then the fish just jump out into his basket. Okay. First of all, no one's hurt. They're there because they want to be there. And then he puts them back. No, do you guys fish at all?
Once they jump out, he does follow it up with, hey.
Yeah. And then he goes, ba 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 ba. Then back in his house and he's talking to the fish. He's like, so what do you want to do tonight? And the fish is like, I want to go home. And he's like, okay. And then he takes him back. Do you guys fish at all? You guys fishermen?
I want to fish. I love the idea of fishing, and but I'm a terrible fisherman. I cannot catch a thing. I don't like, I'll go out with the worm and the hook. And then apparently you need a pole. So I just throw a worm on a hook in the ocean, which is a weird thing to do, but but I love the idea of fishing, and I love the idea of all this stuff, but I'm just not good at it.
Yeah. I did a lot of fishing growing up. We lived right on the water, and I would catch salmon and trout and all kinds of fish out there in the bay of the Puget Sound. But I will be honest with you, I've never loved fishing. I'm too ADD or something. It is the most boring thing in the world.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm the opposite. I haven't for several years now, but I used to love fishing to the point where apparently I love people and I love hanging out with people, but I love being by myself, just fishing. I could do it for a full day sometimes.
You see, that's the thing. That's the difference between you and I, Brian. You love people. I'm not that much of a people person. I don't like people, and I don't like being alone. So I have a problem.
We just figured out Mike doesn't like Mike, is what we just figured out.
Hello, darkness.
Have you ever met me?
If anybody out there watching could help Mike James, please call in now.
Operators are standing by. Come on over here.
I like that Mike tries to go fishing and then he trips and he bumps his head and he wakes up and there's a fish like, are you okay? And Mike's like, what? He's like, you just gotta love yourself, man. And then Mike wakes up. Did that happen?
That did happen. That's why I have that problem.
Go talk to the gorilla.
And then a couple days later, there's a selfie of Mike underwater with a fish.
Yeah.
And the fish is holding him up. It's gonna be a thing, guys. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm excited. Brian, I think that you should take me fishing. I want to go fishing.
You should go fishing.
Yeah, let's go fishing. We're not gonna. I mean, we'll invite Mike, but we won't invite him.
Mike can drop us off, and then he's like, "What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Go get us sandwiches." And then he'll look, all right, and then he'll go get sandwiches.
Yeah,
and come back,
and it'll play out just like everything else. I'm gonna come back and there something will have happened with the person that made the sandwiches. A confrontation with them.
It'll be a 15-minute story, and then we'll say, "Hey, why don't you go check on Chris in the bathroom?" And then you'll leave again.
Speaking of Chris in the bathroom, people in India have been warned not to smear themselves in poo to fight COVID.
Oh, wait.
That was a real thing. People in India were smearing themselves with poo, primarily cow poo, but other forms of it as well, thinking somehow that's going to stop, cure, or in some way fight COVID from spreading.
I mean, didn't hurt me.
Is that why your skin's glowing?
I guess that's my skin. That's my skin routine. Is I just smear cow poo all over myself.
You know the old saying, "A little dab will do you." So
I go, rub it in.
My little lines. Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah. Mike, you just sprung that story on us. I was not prepared.
Yeah, it's I think the interesting thing with that is that is that they're someone told them to do it. That's the most interesting part to me, is that enough people are doing it that someone's like, listen, I got the cure. Listen, you go over there, that pasture, you can get some of that cow poo, and then COVID can't find you. It's like it's like the predator. If you're covered in cold mud, he can't see you.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. And there's a bunch of people with their eyes closed.
You can't just cover yourself in the mud. You have to also be very, very still. It can detect motion.
Nicole Miller says that it helps with social distancing. Absolutely.
Forget 6 feet. How about 6 miles?
Yeah. I don't know. What would you do if for example, we found out that cow poo actually stopped the spread of COVID? Would you put it on?
No.
I'll take my chances. Next question. What if it made you younger, Mike? What if it turned you into a 19-year-old Mike James? Would you do it?
Hey, Napoleon, you know anything about time travel? No, I don't believe I would do that. I don't want to go back in time for at least at any point in my lifetime. I think it'd be cool to go back in time to see other historical events live, but I have no interest in going backward in time myself.
I'm not even referring to time travel. I was just talking, when you want to be young now.
Oh, just be younger, like younger and healthier. No, because I feel like that would extend my life longer, and I kind of
you don't like yourself. Why would you want to live longer? So
you don't want to live amongst the millennials and the Gen Zs.
I'm enjoying my time as a curmudgeon old man.
Mike, we'll find you a safe place. I promise. You can go to all the concerts that you want to. While they're still touring.
I like how our conversation turned into. Okay, so you wouldn't put poo on yourself for COVID. What if you put poo on yourself for time travel, or for getting younger?
On yourself for?
Would you put cow poo all over your body for $10?
Think about it. You ever like cows are in the middle of nowhere, right? And then sometimes you're walking along, you're like, "What's that?" Maybe it time traveled there. Maybe that's cow poo from another cow. Maybe the secret's been in front of us.
I know that time travel has the weird side effect of drawing flies. So
I'm going to tell you right now, this is the weirdest. What would you do for a Klondike bar situation you've ever been in? So, and I'm telling you right now, I would.
Remember Back to the Future, Mike, when he's like, Marty.
Yeah, always batting those flies away.
Dad, we got to save the princesses.
Where we're going, you don't need raid. That was my Doc Brown impression. Did you like
that? That's good. Yeah.
Good. The way you commit to characters is amazing, Mike.
Marty, where we're going, you don't need it.
Yeah, look at me, I'm Doc Brown. Hey,
I can't tell you're Doc Brown from your Iggy from Taxi. It's just, wow, which one was it? Alex Rieger.
Oh my gosh.
So we reached the part of the show we call the lull.
Yeah, we found the lull, the hour long.
You can't fear the quiet.
Yeah, listen, we can't.
That's quiet. The following is brought to you by Awkward Moments.
Awkward moments. Look for them in your life. So we had a show. Moments. We had a show on Mother's Day.
We did.
That was fun.
And full house. We packed the house.
Show. It was our show.
Yeah.
It was a Stir Crazy Comedy Club capacity. We were at full capacity again, and we filled it. I believe with the first full capacity show since coming back. So
wow!
Congratulations to all of us. We did
it, guys. We did it. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good show. I hate to admit it, but you guys did okay. You did okay. You weren't, you weren't like covered in poo good, but pretty good.
Still fun.
Yeah, that was a Yelp review. Not covered in poo good, but good.
These guys are not covered in cow pies. It's the biggest complaint that I've been hearing about our show.
Our good friend Rhonda Corey, who Rhonda was watching, I think earlier.
Yeah, just a second ago, we're having.
She joined us. She was in from Rhode Island for the week, and Mike and I, between the two of us, she had a place to stay. Backyard here.
I kept her luggage.
Here.
Brian kept her.
This is how we decided who got Rhonda.
Yeah. Paper, scissors, rock.
So
is it
Rhonda
paper,
was
rock,
out
scissors,
and Rhonda joined us?
Oh no, everyone knows it's rock, paper, scissors, Mike. Who says paper, scissors, rock?
I used to always say that too, but I've heard it every different way now.
Rock,
That's
paper,
wrong.
scissors.
I will say this. I hate when people call it
Scissors.
Rochambeau or whatever, because nobody knows that.
Yeah, it has nothing to do.
Well, that's a different game, Mike.
Yeah, I grew up that was a different game, but I've
Yeah.
heard people refer
Really?
to it, rock, paper,
What was
scissors.
that game for you?
Well, we can't say it. This is a family broadcast. I can't.
Usually
All right,
involves some type of kicking.
It involves cow poo.
Oh man, yeah. I thought it went well. I know we videotaped some. I don't know if any of it came out good enough for us to share it. As far as the audio goes, but I know Brian was working on that.
To be honest, I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, then, Brian, he doesn't care. Brian doesn't care, is what we're hearing. That
So I recorded the a Cactus Comedy Classic the week before, which was 6 shows of comics, which I just got done with that. So this is a lot of comedy to edit, is what I'm saying. So I'll get to it.
Okay.
And if it's good enough, maybe we'll share a clip here or two. The podcast audience will love that, but maybe we will.
Maybe if there's something podcast people love, it's video clips. I think we should have more video clips with no sound. Like we should have a lot more like, Charlie Chaplin clips that we play,
Sure.
or like,
Well, the podcast audience can enjoy the piano music.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be fine. So it was good though. It was a good improv show. Good show all together. Rhonda did her stand up, and so we had a great show. And then we've got we're not saying too much here, but we're working on some stuff, guys, viewers. Coming up. We'll talk more about what we have coming up immediately, but we've got some other stuff coming up later in the year.
I can't give much information, but let's just say pilot CBS. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
No.
Today's reverse trivia.
It is time for reverse trivia.
Is it that time of year already?
It is that time of year. All right, guys. So what happens for those of you watching, or whenever you're watching, I'm going to post a question to the other members of our esteemed panel here, Josh and Brian. They are going to answer the question. It's a 2-part question. I guess I didn't have to say that. Chris isn't here. I usually have to explain that. But it's a 2-part question. They're going to answer it on their screens. Anybody watching can guess through the comments on Facebook or wherever what they think the question might have been to warrant these answers. So here's your question, guys. And let me know. Put your answer in your name space, comment thing, whatever. Ellen calls it quits after season 19, by the way. We're going to get to that story in a moment. Turns out it's not what people think. One is season 19. Are you kidding me? That's been 19 years she's been doing that?
Yeah, hard to believe, huh?
I thought she just got canceled from that bookstore show she had.
Which was
She had a bookstore show?
She had
her original show.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was called Stacked. Oh wait, no, that was Pamela Anderson's bookstore show, which is true. I'm not making that up. That actually was
man, the 70s were a crazy time.
They were the 70s were. I think that was 80s, but yeah, 70s were also crazy.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. And we're ready.
All right, so Brian, I'm gonna let you display the answers.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so the question was posed. The answer, Josh's answer, is 1957, 24 feet. Brian's answer is 1942, 6 feet 1 inch. That's those years are quite diverse, but the distance is amazingly different. 6 foot 1 inch or 24 feet. So anybody guess? I'll give you guys a moment to see if you want to figure out what the question was that brought those answers on. And I was just reading some of the comments. Okay, so let's move on to Ellen, and then we'll come back to this after a little bit of time.
Okay, so Ellen she's calling it quits after 19 seasons because turns out that she's too nice in real life, and
she claims that the reason she quit, coincidentally, in the same span of time where she is hated by all humans, it wasn't because of that. It was because she just didn't find it to be a challenge anymore. It was much more of a challenge when everybody loved her and watched. It's not quite as much a challenge when she has to scrape and scratch for viewers, apparently.
You know, and now she also said that she wanted to get back into doing stand-up again, which, you know, celebrities that have too much fame end up only talking about their famous friends and famous stories once they come back.
I absolutely cannot wait for that to happen to me. I cannot wait to talk about my famous friends to you guys. I'll be like, you'll never believe who I know, you two.
That's the problem I have with stand-up now. I go out there and I'm like, so my friend Brian Kohatsu, not to name drop, Josh Novey, Chris Wineland. I mean, you know, these guys I hang out with, and people just can't relate.
Yep. And then you end up walking tables. Yep. That's how it works.
Yeah. And everyone's like, we're tired of hearing about Brian Kohatsu. Everyone's just talking about Brian Kohatsu the whole time.
You know, a perfect example is Ray Romano, you know, successful comedian. And then he had his show, obviously, that was a huge success. And then he didn't go back to stand up right away because he's like, you know, you don't have the same problems. You know, when you say, I can't pay my bills.
It's
people
hard
go,
to,
but you're a millionaire.
Yeah, it's hard to be relatable, especially comics that build the whole thing is for him was being relatable. It's dad problems, you know, all that. And so now, it's way different for him.
But then, like his new special,
his special was great when he came back.
Was great because he talked about he went back to that whole genesis of his twins are grown now and the stories he had with them that are just family related stuff.
Yeah, his relationships with the members of his family primarily, which it was perfect.
Yeah. So I don't know what Ellen's got. Ellen doesn't have any kids, right? You know, so for the stories,
you know how kids are made, Brian, but no, she doesn't.
No, I feel like she does. I have a feeling that either they're adopted or they are from her wife. I don't know. I just have that feeling. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything.
In the long run, is it just her and Portia stories?
They do not have any children. I'm doing some research here real quickly.
Okay.
Ellen,
but she did own a fake bookstore.
She did own a fake bookstore.
To be clear.
I will say that. So was it a couple years ago? She did come out with the Ellen special, and she had a good opening joke where I thought it was funny, where she said that about the whole problems. You have different problems, and she tries to be relatable, and then she talked about having her servants bring her coffee in the morning or whatever. I thought that was fun.
That's a ripoff of Steve.
I know. Aren't we all, Mike? We're all a ripoff of someone else. Okay, we're sorry.
So according to the internet, which has never lied to me once.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ellen and her wife Portia have been married since 2008, and people wonder if they have children. Despite one of the longest-lasting couples in Hollywood, Ellen and Portia do not have any children. I like how they just gloss over the fact that, I mean, granted, same-sex couples could have children by adoption or whatever.
Mhm.
They made, despite one of the longest-lasting couples in Hollywood, because I mean,
that's 13 years.
That's almost 12 years. That's
Listen, this
insanely
couple has
long.
been together for almost a little over a decade. You will not believe how long they've been together.
Despite it being the longest relationship on record, they've never had children. So
My
not
grandparents,
consummated their relationship apparently.
my grandparents have been married over 55 years, or Hollywood 3.
Yeah,
It's almost that bad.
it is. So okay, let's get back to reverse trivia. The answers were 1957, 24 feet from Josh, and Brian was 1942, 6 foot 1 inch. The question was, let me find it here. The question was, Rosie the Riveter set a world record for the furthest frog jump. Rosie the Riveter was the frog, by the way. What year was this set, and how far did this frog jump? The answer, I'm trying to figure out how to get this in here because I can't remember how to make this work. Sorry. The answer was the current frog jumping record was set in 1986 by Rosie the Riveter, who jumped, are you ready? This is pretty amazing, 21 feet and 5 3/4 inches. Oh my gosh, Josh, you were so close, and yet you did not get it.
I know. If this was Price is Right, I would still lose because I'm over.
Just so everybody knows, I did not just pull this out of the thin air. Today is National Frog Jumping Day.
Oh, finally.
And the longest frog, 21 feet. That's a long jump.
Was it downhill? Was it on a slope?
It was off a 21-foot building.
Well, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually across the street on 21 Jump Street.
Wait a minute. Was there heavy traffic when this frog was going across that street?
There were logs going one direction, lily pads going another direction. There
was a movie made about this, I remember. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys saw the episode of Seinfeld years ago where he was trying to maintain his Frogger record on the video game Frogger, and ended up having to cross the street with it. Funny.
That was great.
So speaking of movies and also 80s, Mike, you watched Wonder Woman 1984 finally.
I finished it finally. I started watching it like a month ago, but I finally finished it. Yes. And here's my quick movie review.
One word movie review. That's one here.
Baffling.
There you go. And you have it, folks. Straight from the horse's mouth.
What is your one-word movie review of Wonder Woman 1984? Josh?
I think mine is what?
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
I would be like, wishes?
So I don't think this is a spoiler for anybody, but it ends awful, and it starts awful. Actually, it starts really great. There's the coolest superhero fight thing in a mall in the 80s. It's really fun to watch.
And then after that,
first whole sequence,
it's horribly wrong.
It's like they were like, it's like they hired the best writing and directing and producing team to make that sequence, and then they're like, oh, we ran out of money, let's get some college kids to go ahead and just finish this up.
I think what happened was one of the writers asked their kid, so if you could help me, what would you say? And they said, well, I just wish, and that was all they got through. And the guy said, a wish, that's it.
By
I don't know if you guys know this, but what did not make it into the movie, which is on the cutting room floor, is it all started with a turkey bone they were pulling apart.
Oh yeah,
and that's how the wish all started.
I just looked it up. The script was actually based on a drawing on a refrigerator.
Mm. That makes sense. Why Wonder Woman? She just had 2 feet coming out of her torso.
Yeah, with no hips or joints.
Yeah.
So you know what? Every and what this ties in those like 18 again with George Burns, you know,
Mhm.
and the kid, like they make the wish one. I wish I was older. I wish I was younger. You know, that's a wish, you know, and a lot of those body swapping movies are wish movies. And then this movie has a body swap in the weirdest way with Steve Trevor.
Yeah, you're right. There's just so many things in this movie that just, if you watch it, it's just like, oh, okay. Wait, what? It's a combination of Bruce Almighty and Aladdin. That's what I decided.
Yeah. Like mixed with
Not the cartoon Aladdin, the live action one with Will Smith.
Mixed with Rescue Rangers and a little bit of
Rescue.
Alvin and the Chipmunk. Like you say,
I thought this movie was a lot like Scrooge McDuck.
you remember? So this movie, it's really like a combination of like Steel Magnolias and
in terms of
This movie was so bad.
Combination.
This movie was so bad. I'm surprised Elon Musk wasn't in it.
This was written by SNL cast.
yeah. Oh man, it was. Anyways,
You guys kept warning me that this movie was awful, and Brian, you kept saying I said I watched the beginning, it was pretty good, and you go, yeah, you watch the rest. You just watch the rest. I want to hear what you say, and you're right. It was pretty bad.
Get past the credits.
the movie was great. If you don't watch past the credits, that's amazing.
Now, granted, I was alive in 1984, and that's exactly how it was. But remember all the wishing we used to do, Mike?
Oh yeah, and it would usually come true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I remember going to the mall and putting money into Zoltar and asking him what the future was, and it was always accurate.
And then you're always like, I remember that you're always like, I want to be big.
But if you've listened to the show today, Mike doesn't want to be young again, but he does want to be big.
I always wanted to be big.
Mike
So the theory holds.
He wants to be big. He wants to rub cow poo all over himself, and I think and he wants to be part of ABBA. That's Mike's goals.
I will say, guys, I don't know if you believe so much in wishes, but I made a wish a few years ago and it came true. At one point I said, man, I wish they'd bring the Noid back for Domino's.
Oh, dude, we were just talking about this a few weeks ago
and
on the show, the Noid. And what happened, Brian?
And the Noid's back, folks.
The Noid.
Finally.
I tried to avoid the Noid, and now he's back.
When I worked at Miller's Outpost, Store 79, Valley West Mall, I was in charge of inventory weekly, and we got in some Noids. We got some little Noid action figures, and nobody bought them.
I can't believe that. That's unbelievable, Brian. Is that what is that you didn't buy them all so that you could now resell them?
Why would you buy something that the public is telling you to avoid? That's what I want to know.
The whole thing was silly. It was the Noid was some sort of personification of pizzas not delivered right, or like.
Well, he made the pizzas cold. So he's like a Jack Frost wannabe, but only for pizzas.
I was thinking like he made cold, just like it started out like cold pizzas, and like that's just an uncooked pizza.
No. Like he made hot pizzas cold, and the thing is, I think he quit and he went to work for DiGiorno for a while, freezing their pizzas, and then I don't know, scandal, and then he's out. You know what
the thing is that it's a talent, and it just shows that you have to focus your talent somewhere to make it worthwhile. You can't if you're good at freezing pizza.
I feel like we're out of context. This is all bizarre. So for the few people out there that weren't alive in the 80s that don't know, the Noid was a cartoon character put out by Domino's.
He was claymation.
An animation thing.
Creepy claymation.
There it is. Just to say, hey, avoid this guy. He's the one that ruins all your pizzas. Shop Domino's, and we don't have the Noid. But clearly, it's tightly associated with them. It's like that Melvin the plumber guy or whatever.
Locally.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
No, not.
There's a commercial. It's national.
It's like, Melvin the plumber. You know that classic
It is.
cartoon character that
It is.
we're all aware of. Melvin the plumber.
There's a character. It's from some national plumbing. Is it air conditioning or plumbing or something?
No, that's local. That is not a national.
Is it really? I thought it was national.
No, that's local.
Looking it up.
And there's
He's
no
just like
Melvin.
annoyed. They always show him coming in and ruining the job. And this company says there's no Melvins working here.
You know that classic character that we're all aware of, Klosky the Donksky. You know, he comes in and that's my
Comes in
favorite.
and wipes his feet. Yep. Ruined your carpet. Klosky the donkey. Another beloved character.
Speaking of hooved animals ruining carpet, when I was in high school, I got kicked out of class one time. I got kicked out of class many times, but this one particular time, I was kicked out of class, and it wasn't go to the principal. I think they got tired of saying that, so they just made me leave the classroom. So I was wandering around the halls between classes, and I wandered outside, and there was a stray cow had wandered in from a pasture nearby, and I thought, oh, you know, what'd be funny is if I coaxed this cow to come into the hallway, so when people got out of class, there's a cow in the school. I did that, and I got him in there, and then the class let out, and this cow got quite nervous about the sudden noise and crowds and started running up and down the hall and tearing the tile off the floor. I remember tiles flying as this cow destroyed the flooring of the school. So
is this how you got expelled? Is this the story?
No, actually, that was a stern warning and some other punishment, but I got expelled later for something else that was more physical and wrong.
This time he brought in 2 cows.
I got expelled for bringing in chickens.
Man, I love the idea that the whole show today has been revolving around cows. Like it's a good bookend to each other. You know, you start with cow poo, you end with cow poo. You have a cow pie. Yeah, we're good.
By the way, just to clarify, if people are confused, you cannot stop or fix or cure or whatever COVID by rubbing Noid poo on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that
but it will
work.
make your pizza warmer.
And what our podcast people can't see is that Mike is winking right now, which is a weird thing to do while you're saying that. Just want to let you know, wink, wink. You can't cure COVID with Noid poo. Wink, wink.
Wait, it's Marvin, not Melvin.
Oh, you're talking about Messy Marvin?
Yeah.
Speaking of 1980. Yeah, okay.
I think that's the right, isn't it?
Messy Marvin, the Hershey's kid, who was also Ralphie.
Oh, no, wow. I just looked up Messy Marvin, and you're right. That's that old kid from the Hershey's commercials. But for some reason, the way it came up on my screen with pictures is a progression of age of him, and it's not very flattering.
I love the idea that, like, in your mind, you're thinking of Messy Marvin, the kid that had chocolate all over his mouth, was the plumber that you don't want in your house. Like that, you don't want this guy.
Hey, you don't want your plumber thing. It melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
All right. Well,
Hey, plumbing company. Yeah, your plumber. He's covered in chocolate, but I don't see any wrappers.
Hey, we got to start wrapping it up. You guys have anything coming up this week, next week, in the near future?
Nothing. I thought we did, but I don't. We have the
Father's Day.
We're all performing at Father's Day at Stir Crazy Comedy Club, same place we did Mother's Day, but this is for Father's Day, and this will be our stand-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
correct.
Yes, that'll be fun. Looking forward to that.
Tis the season. I'm knee high in personal things with my son's graduation, my daughter's 16th birthday, and a trip to Universal Studios Orlando. So I will be just partying like I'm 16 to 18 years old.
When
weeks.
are you going to Orlando, Brian?
In 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. We're going to North Carolina in a few weeks, but we're between now and then we're going camping with my daughter and her family. So
anyway, so guys, in 2 weeks, tune into the Morning Laugh with Josh Novey, where I will just sit here and talk to you about things that I don't like. Like it's gonna be like an Andy Rooney. you know what buggers my bugs.
Well, I think Chris will be back from the bathroom by then.
Yeah. If all goes well, as they say.
Cool. Yeah, that's all we have, guys. I have nothing else.
I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm going to bid everybody farewell and let Brian run the end credits. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Please make comments. And I'm told to tell everybody that don't bother subscribing because that doesn't help. You got to hit the bell. I don't know what that means, but hit the bell. I think that's just for YouTube. But anyway, adios, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Good morning.